In the UK, isn't it disgusting that if you want to buy healthy food, if you want to buy healthy meals, lots of fruit and veg, you've got to be prepared to pay double for everything. Okay? You've got to be prepared to pay out the for your weekly shopping. You could, however, go and get loads of shit from the freezer, loads of processed crap, and literally quarter your food shopping bill. Which is the easier option, and most people have to take that option due to the fact that the healthy stuff is so expensive. And they encourage us to feed our kids healthy. They encourage us to, eat lots of fruit and veg 5 a day and all that. Well, some people can't afford to, can they? Because the prices are going higher and higher every time you walk in a shop. And please believe me, I'm not knocking anyone that, does buy and fill their freezer up with stuff for their kids. I'm not knocking you at all. This isn't what the video is about, because needs must in some people's lives. But I still think if the prices wasn't so high, more people would be open to making wholesome, healthy, home-cooked meals. But they can't afford it because it's so expensive. I mean, me personally, do you know what? I put the food shop before anything else. My wages go, my husband pays bills, my wages go on food. So I'm going to buy what I want when I want at the end of the day. Yes, if it leaves me skint, that's the way it is. I'm skint for the rest of the fucking week. So what? As long as my bills are paid and my fridge is filled, that's the most important thing to me, so that my kids can, has always got something on hand. And again, I'm not knocking people that aren't in a position to do that. If anything, I'm supporting them people by saying if they made the prices cheaper, life wouldn't be so difficult for some people out there.
What is the best way for us to protect as families from what is probably about to happen? Because everybody can feel it and everybody can sense that something is going on and something big is about to happen. Why have we got such a shit government? I mean, I know we've always had shit governments as such in the last 10 years. Has this country had it? Do we have to move abroad now? Should we move to Portugal? Property, that's had its... Who, in the right mind, at the moment, is going to go out and buy an house? Even if you buy a house, they could take it off you anyway. It's probably not worth having a house. You're probably best off renting, not having a thing. And then if you don't pay your bills, or you can't afford your council tax, or you can't afford your TV licence, what are they going to take off you? What can they take off you? We'll take your house off you. Not got one. We'll take your car off you. Yeah, not got one. You know why? Because we can't afford them. That's why. You could have the clothes off my back. I own these. But soon we'll be renting clothes because we won't be able to afford them. But it's scary. It's massively scary. And I don't know whether it's the news that's making people feel scared. I mean, the news are great at that. The news are fantastic at making people feel like shit. They've always been good at it. So I don't know whether it's just the news that's doing another round of making people feel like shit. Please tell us what is going on with the world at the moment and what is the best way to get out of it.
You see this country, they call it Great Britain. It's not great. I was born here. I'm proud to be born in London, but I'm not proud of Great Britain because it's not great. 95% of people who live in the United Kingdom are just paying their bills and they're struggling. All they do is work paycheck to paycheck to paycheck to pay bills. The UK conquered nearly 40, 50, 60% of the whole world. They went and conquered it all and came back and brought all the riches back here. And this means to me, the UK are masters at controlling, manipulating and cheating people, in my opinion, right? And that's what they've done to the masses. The 95% of us, the system, the banking system, the education system, the tax system is against us. It's like we are the population of the UK, but we're conquered as well. They conquer us as well, right? Do you know because I'm a landlord, I have bills coming now from 5 years ago of council tax for vacant periods of properties that I had that were vacant, and they're sending bailiffs to get council tax bills that were in vacant period when tenants were not there or tenants didn't register in my properties, and they're chasing 5 years ago and sending bailiffs to houses, some of my houses. This is the state of the country. UK is rich because they're the best at collecting taxes and manipulating, in my opinion. This is not a hate video. This is a truthful video from my heart. The UK is absolutely broken. Over 150 people I've spoken to over the phone. When they say to me, how are you? Look at this system. I say, it's broken Britain. And not one person in the UK, Wales, Scotland has said it's not broken. 150 people, they all said, no, no one has said, what are you talking about, Mr. Patel? It's not broken. I'm doing really well. Straight away, they say, we agree with you. It's broken Britain. Really sad situation. End of the day, you have to be very selfish and think of yourself. And you can only beat the system if you're part of the system and you take advantage of their loopholes. Bye. Love you all. Leave it in the comments. Never give up.
Literally been on TikTok for 3 minutes. And let me tell you what has come up on my For You page. 1. Keir Starmer telling us that he wants to build loads of houses so immigrants can basically be moved into their own house and not take up hotels. 2. Labour taking free school meals away from infant children. Free school meals gone. 3. Grown-ass men standing outside a primary school loitering around and the teacher having to come out to tell them to move on. What the is actually going on with this country? I absolutely hate it. What the hell? What?
So £400 billion was spent during COVID, and you'd never believe this. Half of it was lost. But before I carry on, honestly, share this video and watch this video and share it, because I'm not just saying that, but people need to see what the government is spending our money on. The only way that people are going to see this is if you guys share these videos. I never realised this stuff until I started researching. So I'm just looking here now, and £200 billion of the 400 has not even been accounted for. So 47 billion was lost to furlough fraud, 15 billion on empty hospitals like Nightingale, 12 billion on unusable PPE, 37 billion on test and trace, 138 billion just ticked off as miscellaneous with no clear breakdown. I'm sure there's more things that you guys know and you'd be able to share on TikTok. Share your comments on TikTok and tell us what else that the government's been spending the money on, because more people need to share these videos and more people need to be aware of what they're actually spending as taxpayers' money on. Tell us what your thoughts are.
I have left the United Kingdom and my quality of life is improving. I can see colour again. Normality is restored. Can you feel that sunshine? My goodness me. Cause he lives is a distant memory. I don't remember her. I'm not even wearing a jacket. Chai! This is enjoyment, y'all.
The UK is a joke right now. If you're still living in the UK and haven't moved abroad, this is the video for you. Right now in the UK it's about 5 degrees, I'm freezing my balls off and the sun's nowhere to be seen. It gets dark at 4 PM and we barely get any sunshine. No wonder seasonal depression is a thing in the UK. The NHS is failing, our government don't care about us, and are we really happy? I saw this study the other day that said most people are born and pass away within a 5-mile radius. Just think about that for a second. Every person that I know that's left the UK has said it was the best decision of their life. Think about it, do you know anyone that's regretted leaving the UK? In all honesty, I'm leaving the UK in the next couple months and I don't know when I'll be back. There's so many better places and a world to explore. It's easy to feel stuck here. There's a lot of people that live here and don't want to, but just tied down. And yes, just because you're in another country doesn't mean you don't have your bad days. But I would rather be sad on a beach with the sun shining on me than be sad in a shoebox in London and a grey sky. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What's your opinion of the UK? And if you got the chance to leave and move abroad, would you?
Whew. So why I left the UK? Where do I start? Reason number one, the UK will suck the living daylights out of you. I'm saying Glock 3000, double spin, twister, it will do all of that to you, bro. It's the type of place that, for me, I feel like I got out of uni thinking, okay, yeah, I've got my degree now, I'm gonna be flying high. But I don't want to go corporate. So if I don't want to go corporate, what else is there for me to do? I want to do music, I want to do content, but that's not sustainable because I'm not there yet. So what do? I go get a job. And I feel like the moment I got myself like into the 9 to 5 when I was working that specific 9 to 5, it was Amazon. Yes, Amazon. You know how it is. You're working 10 hours a day, 8 to 6:30 a.m. Bro, by the time you even find sleep, in the day, you're already starting the next shift. So imagine running that race for about a year and some change. You're gonna fall into depression, bro. Like, you can't see yourself progressing because the cost of living is getting higher and you're kind of dependent on the job. So then it's just like, bro, what am I doing here? For me, I just felt like I needed a change of scenery, a change of pace, and thank God because I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? In Miami. Follow me for more.
Everyone's saying how fucked the UK is at the moment, but what are some of the positive reasons you should move abroad rather than it just being because the UK is a mess? So overall, there's one key thing, and it's the opportunities that moving abroad presents you. When you move abroad, you have opportunities to meet new people, form new friendships, form new business relationships, maybe get in a romantic relationship. You have the opportunity to experience a new culture or cultures, and you might just find that some other cultures you feel more closely aligned to. You prefer living that way. So for example, you might come out here to Thailand and realise that you prefer their slower pace of life, the fact that they're happier here. But equally, you might be a very career-focused person and you move to America or the UAE because you love the hustle culture that they have there. That's more closely aligned with what you want, and that helps you get towards the life goal that you have for yourself. Along the same lines, maybe you move to a country with a cheaper cost of living or lower taxation, and then you find that you've got more disposable income, you can get a better property, and that makes you happier, whatever it may be. Maybe you find a country with a climate you prefer. You come from Europe and you're sick of it being cold and shit all winter, so you move to a country that's got year-round sun, and that makes you happier. Ultimately, life is for living, and when you move abroad, you are doing more to live that life. You are experiencing more of what this world has to offer, and you are going to grow as a result of that. It doesn't just have to be a response to a shitty situation back home, even if that gives you even more reason to move abroad in the first place. Moving abroad is a positive experience for you, so take that opportunity. And if you're curious about moving abroad yourself, you've got any fears or reservations, feel free to drop me a DM on Instagram and I'm happy to answer your question or do another video on it. And for everybody else, drop a follow for more.
So I'm 21 and I'm leaving the UK in 10 days. Of all the things I'm looking forward to, the one thing I'm looking forward to most is just being free from expectation, man. When you're in your certain area that you've grown up in and you've developed and grown as a person, people will always hold you to that old person that you were. People will always hold you back to Ty 5 years ago and the things that he was doing. They won't really see and or recognize me as the individual that I've grown to today. So I feel like when you move to a different environment, or in my case, the other side of the world in Southeast Asia, it's just a different feeling when people don't hold you back to the person you once was 7 years ago for things you was doing in secondary. Do you know what I mean? So I'm proper looking forward to it, man. And I feel like, again, having that experience to say that you've lived abroad is something that not many people will actually do, as much as people will always say it and talk about it. So yeah, man, we're doing it, man. 10 days and we're out.
You are not going to make it in the UK. The country has gone down a path where it is now designed for you to fail. Now, why do I moan about the UK? Then I moan about Thailand. When people from the UK come to Thailand, well, there's a massive common denominator, and it's the UK and the people inside it. I'll tell you right now why we and everybody else is leaving the UK, why we run away, apparently. No, it's not because we can't get girls back in England like some of you guys like to bullshit in comment sections while you're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to start your 60-hour work week to go to your job with absolutely zero prospects. You literally wake up from your mum's basement with no girls, by the way, to start your dead-end job, because you're too lazy to get up off your ass and find something more meaningful, something that's going to fulfill your life and make you happy. Some of you have got good jobs, you're on good salaries, you have to give a massive portion of that towards tax, and then the other half you want to spend, you then have to pay 20% off of anything you want to buy for yourself. If you want to keep it at a bank and you want to save it, they're going to offer you rates that don't move while all the rates around you are climbing. Just make that make sense. Entry onto a property ladder, the education system, going through university fees makes it totally impossible for a young, ambitious person like me to succeed. Since being in Thailand for 2 years, I've achieved more than I've achieved in my whole life, and I'm over 30 years old. Doors have opened, which I never thought would be possible for me. I'm at the point where I can now accept or reject certain things that I do and I don't want to do. And people very commonly like to say, well, you just left the UK because you couldn't make anything of yourself. You're absolutely fucking right. I couldn't. Another one, you left the UK because you were a failure. Well, yeah, I failed to become part of the circus. I'm sorry. What do you want me to tell you? It was the best decision I've ever made in my whole entire life. Peace.
In April this year, I'll be leaving the UK. I'm starting a series on reasons why I'm leaving the UK. So every episode will be focused on another reason. This is episode 1, where the first reason is taxes. Firstly, to set the scene this year, I'm expecting to earn between 90 to 110,000 pounds. If I earn, let's say, 100,000 pounds, my take-home salary from that would be around 60k per year. So 40k would basically go up in dust. And my biggest problem is I have no idea where that is going. Wait times for the NHS are extremely long. I've personally never been to a GP. I've been to a GP once in the 7 years that I've been in the UK. Doesn't mean that the NHS doesn't serve a purpose. I know that it's good to have it when you eventually need it, but so far I just haven't gotten my money's worth when it comes to that. Public services are absolutely shit. There's dog shit everywhere. I just don't know where my money is going is the problem. Now, I also come from a very privileged place where I lived in Singapore for 10 years. The tax rates in Singapore are extremely low. Public services are amazing. It is super clean, super safe. You can walk around from the club at 2 a.m. without even thinking about anyone approaching you or being in danger. Now, I appreciate that by making this video, I'm inviting a lot of hate to come through. What I suspect is that the hate will mainly come from people who have never lived outside of the UK. Because if you have, and you've lived in a good country that is managed properly, you will know that you don't have to pay that much in taxes to have a clean, safe country where the public services are good. That's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts.
Leaving the UK has been the best decision I've ever made for my health because the UK was quite literally making me sick. I thought that I had all of these autoimmune diseases when I was living in the UK because I was constantly tired and fatigued. I was constantly getting ill. I constantly had anxiety. I just didn't feel my best self despite being somebody who is always health conscious, always eating the right things, always going to the gym, always getting 8 hours of sleep. And it was so draining to a point that I was focusing on my health so much and I wasn't really getting the results that I should have been. And it was just frustrating me so much and giving me even more anxiety because I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? I had severe acne. I struggled with bloating because my cortisol was so high. Yes, I went to the gym, but it was really difficult to get my steps in because, you know, walking in the UK is not where it's at. It's so freezing. And since leaving the UK, I'm doing like 20,000 steps every single day. My skin is the softest and clearest it's ever been. This is just scarring. Like, I had such bad acne, you can see from the scarring here. I am the skinniest I have been in years. I have so much energy. I never thought I would have this amount of energy. I just put it down to I'm just not somebody who's got a lot of energy, despite, you know, getting 8 hours of sleep and trying to stay off my phone before I go to sleep and stuff. I just always felt drained and tired, and I just kind of gave up on that. I thought, okay, that's just me as a person. Not here. I can work until late at night. I can get up early in the morning. I feel fresh. Doesn't matter. Like, even if I get less sleep now, I'm still got the energy because I'm constantly outside. I'm constantly getting fresh air, sunlight. And that's just reason 101 why the UK is just such a depressing place to live in. And because it is like that and because it is so miserable, it is affecting your health and your body in so many ways that you probably didn't even realise.
Living in the UK is such a joke. Why is it that all we do is work, work, work? We go home, we go to bed, but we have little enjoyment time. What is it with this world? Everything fucking costs millions of pounds, literally. It appears to me when I see people abroad, they seem to be happier just living a simple, basic life. But here we're so consumed. We must have a house. We must have a car. We must pay off our mortgage. We must this. We must that. And for what? What then happens at the end? It feels like we are stuck in a rat race. We're just going around that freaking hamster wheel with a rat, with a freaking mouse, constantly chasing the tail. I don't know about anyone else. I'm just exhausted from this bullshit. I'm just exhausted. It feels like from every direction, all we do is get shafted in every possible way. Cost of living is going up. This is expensive, that is expensive, and it's constantly freaking going round in the same fucking circle. Something has to be easier than this shit. Do you ever feel like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out, I'm done, I'm outie, I'm leaving? I once spoke to a guy on holiday who literally was hiring out jet skis, and he said to me when he came to the UK with his wife, because his wife is British and she now lives over there where they live, and he said to me like, oh my god, the life in England is so much harder. Here we literally come to work, we spend time with our family, we get to do things, we're happy, we live very simple lives, but we're together. But here, half the time you feel like you're completely split from your family. You spend time literally with everybody else but your freaking family.
Now, when people ask me if I like London, I would say, yeah, sure, it's okay, it's not that bad. Because my family live here, because I was born here, I am a proud British citizen. However, a few things have happened that made me really thoroughly reconsider whether I actually want to live here or not. Something pretty major is the cost of living crisis right now. I remember 5 years ago, when I went to Wagamama's, a bowl of chicken ramen would be £9.99. And now it is £14.99 or £15.99. I just want to say that the same increase has not happened with wages. Food is just ridiculously overpriced in London. Like, if you want to have a good day out, you're going to be spending at least £50, £60, sometimes more. A coffee at Starbucks is now £4.95 or something like that. It's just crazy. It used to be a meal like 5 years ago. You have all sorts of weird and wacky things happening in London. You've got those phone thieves going around stealing people's phones. You've got absolute nutters throwing chairs down escalators at Westfield. TfL have increased their prices to the point where they're now the most expensive public transportation system on the planet. The weather here is absolutely miserable. It's pretty much rainy, cold, windy all the time. Even in summer, you're lucky to get a sunny day. And then when it is actually summer, you get massive heat waves, which means you just can't sleep in your room, which is optimized for storing and conserving heat, thanks to the way that British houses are designed. Not to mention that in the UK, we pay some of the highest taxes in the world. And depending on how much you earn, you could be paying up to 45% tax. The rich or top 1% are fine because they just funnel their funds outside the UK. The really poor can't afford to pay it. So the middle class get absolutely destroyed. Anyway, those are just a few of the reasons why I think the UK is one of the worst places to live now. If there's any that I missed, please comment down below and add them.
This country's literally falling apart, man. It's like, even yesterday, I had a conversation with the police, and they were just basically saying to me like, oh, there's not really much that they can do out here. There's so many things within their power that are kind of being undermined, and like nobody's basically taking any account. Like, this government is literally shafted everywhere. Even when you're walking through the streets, it's mad. Like, there's rubbish everywhere. Like, even if you're walking through Tower Hamlets, there's lots of people are basically talking about nobody coming to collect any of the rubbish, right? Rubbish men have gone on strike. Police are basically saying that everything is just flipping a mess. Some of them are walking out as well. And it's one of them ones. Like, I ended up flipping having to sympathise with them. Like, this country is isn't it? Everybody's talking about it. Yeah? Normal flipping working people. And at the end of the month, most people ain't got shit left. And some people ain't even got food. Got people flipping, what's the word I'm looking for? People having to go out and steal in flipping supermarkets. All types of flipping shit. It's my car key. Left my car key inside, yeah. People having to flipping go into supermarkets and steal. British Transport Police saying that their computer systems ain't even linked to Metropolitan Police. They want to leave. People talking about leaving this country. Do you know what I mean? So-called COVID's supposedly coming back. Loads of flights being cancelled at Gatwick and all types of shit. Like, England, UK, this government is shafted, man.
I hate the UK, so why am I still here? Firstly, I don't hate the UK. I hate the wankers that run it. I hate the corporations that are in bed with those politicians. I hate the royal family and the aristocrats, the rich cunts who have hoarded wealth for hundreds of years with no work to earn it in the first place. I hate the fact that in this country, 70,000 people are extremely wealthy, whilst 14 million live in poverty. That's 1 in 5 people, 20% of the population, compared to 0.1% that are extremely well off. And I hate the media that have brainwashed so many average people in this country to believe that that is fair, that that is right, and that it benefits them whilst their standard of living declines every single year. Despite what the boneheads and the media think, true patriotism is not getting angry about people that dare to question our societal failures. It's not about hating immigrants, and it's not about standing in front of a Winston Churchill statue. It is about caring for the well-being of your fellow people and wanting the betterment of your society. I want the average Brit to be more affluent, to not have to work as much. I want to eradicate the boundaries we have with our class system, and I want us to be happier. And we can achieve that. And that is why we need people to spread awareness and draw attention to the con that our country is living under, and how our leaders and the ruling elite are failing you, they're failing Mary down the road, and they're failing Bob down the road. Now, as for why I haven't left the UK, I've said this in a number of videos before, and it's very straightforward. I simply do not have the money to do so. I graduated 2 years ago despite having a law degree from a top 20 uni, having a shit ton of work experience across numerous sectors, having lived abroad and having a very strong CV, and now working for a very respectable company in a multifaceted role. I have an overdraft from university that I had to go into due to COVID, and I haven't been able to pay that off because I simply do not earn enough. So my plan is to launch a freelancing business so that I can start that as a side hustle and then eventually become self-employed so that I can dictate my own schedule and earn enough money. And also why I'm growing a social media brand across multiple platforms, because that can help me to generate traffic whilst also spreading an important message. But for now, I'm stuck here. And then maybe in a few years, I'll be chilling in a hammock in Thailand talking about how great life is outside of the UK. So drop a follow to see when I get there.
Why have 10,800 millionaires left the UK in the last 24 months? Because they know something that you need to know. You can be the most perfect seed with all the right ingredients for entrepreneurship, for success, for wealth creation, but if you plant that seed in the desert, you're never going to grow. Equally, you can be a broken seed planted in the rainforest and you can grow to the sky. The UK is broken, my friends. The reason why millionaires are emigrating at a rate of not 1 every 45 minutes is because they've seen the writing on the wall and they're getting out. Even our brothers and sisters, our Polish brothers and sisters who are now emigrating back to Poland, who have seen that 44% rise in wages since 2017, where the UK has seen 0.1%. Everyone is leaving no matter who you are. There gets to a point where you go, I'm just not going to grow in a desert. But the real message I want to get across to you guys is that sometimes, yes, we need to take responsibility, but don't blame yourself. Sometimes it's your environment. And the only thing we can take responsibility for is changing our environment.